The story opens in a classroom where a furious teacher lines up a few girls and begins questioning them. One of the students tries to cheat with help from her friend, Babi, but they're quickly caught. Cut to the night scene. The city is alive with roaring bikes, loud music, and wild energy. We meet Babi's family and sister, and then we're introduced to Hugo Oliveira, the fearless, charming guy every teen looks up to. He wins a pull-up contest among friends, proving again why he's a local legend. Meanwhile, Babi and her friends are dancing and having fun. They're invited, or more accurately, crash, a posh party filled with wealthy guests. There, Babi runs into her ex, who tries to flirt and apologize, but she's not interested. Chaos erupts when Hugo and his gang crash the party. Hugo notices Babi with her ex and smirks. Meanwhile, a guy is caught stealing from a purse, but instead of getting angry, the owner only flips when he tries to ask her out. Hugo approaches Babi, bringing up an old incident where he insulted her. He repeats the same offensive nickname, and Babi throws a drink in his face. When her ex laughs, Hugo shoves him through a table, then hoists Babi over his shoulder and tosses her into the pool. As his gang causes mayhem inside, Hugo tells Babi they'll bathe together next time. Soaked and embarrassed in her now see-through dress, Babi can't escape easily. Later, her ex admits he set up the party invite just to get close to her, but it backfires. Biker's gang returns and trashes his car. In the chaos, one of their friends gets hit by a car. Hugo sees it and explodes in rage, chasing down the driver. Babi tries to call for help, and even an old man steps in, but nothing works. In the end, Babi has no choice. She grabs Hugo from behind, trying to stop him herself. Taking the chance, Babi's ex ditches her and drives off. Hugo sees her stranded, mocks her for a bit, and watches as she nearly accepts a ride from a shady stranger. But Hugo steps in, scares the guy off, and finally offers her a lift. When she gets home, her mom confronts her, and Babi's sister whispers that the guy who dropped her off is none other than Hugo Oliveira, the infamous hero of the town. The next morning, Hugo steals money from his brother, who reminds him about dinner with their dad. Meanwhile, Babi's friend Katina catches Hugo and accuses him of stealing her allowance. Hugo brushes her off, but Katina still agrees to grab lunch. However, Hugo's antics annoy her, and she storms off. Later that day, Hugo has dinner with his father. His brother is late, and his mom is supposedly traveling. Hugo retreats into his old room, where memories of a promising student life and a painful past come flooding back, revealing a turning point that changed him forever. Back at Babi's place, her parents are furious over the fight from the party, especially since one boy ended up seriously injured. Pressured, Babi reveals Hugo's name. Her sister is shocked. This could spell big trouble. Soon, Katina's mom calls Babi about a local street race. Babi heads there and runs into Hugo again. She admits she told her parents Hugo broke the guy's nose. Hugo's friend panics about possible jail time, but Hugo is unfazed. He confidently claims that by the time court arrives, Babi will be so in love with him, she'd do anything to protect him. The race begins, with girls riding pillion on the guys' bikes. Babi, still angry, rides with another man. Chaos ensues, one girl gets injured, and the cops raid the event. In the scramble, a cop manages to take a photo of Babi and Hugo. She hides as the heat dies down, and Hugo later returns, gives her his jacket, and watches her change. Before they part, he tries to kiss her and asks if she'd still testify against him. She slaps him and says yes. The next day, Hugo's brother sees her photo in a newspaper and becomes concerned. Hugo sneaks into Babi's room and tapes a giant poster of them on her wall. She wakes up to it, smiling. It's clear she's falling for him. Later, she attends another party where Hugo arrives and gently touches her hand as they dance. When she returns home, her mother catches her drunk and slaps her before bed. That night, Hugo calls. He asks to meet the next day, and Babi agrees. The following day, Hugo picks her up outside school, watched by a suspicious teacher. As they ride, Hugo sees a man in a car with his mother, triggering memories of the day he discovered her having an affair. Consumed by rage, he had brutally attacked the man, marking the moment his personality began to change. Babi comforts him with a hug, trying to soothe his pain. He confesses that his father and brother still believe their mother is on a trip with a friend. Later, They share intimate, romantic moments, and Babi begins to fully embrace Hugo's wild world, becoming more involved with his biker gang. Babi and Hugo's love is put to the test when one of Hugo's side girls shows up and starts harassing Babi. A fierce fight breaks out between the two until Hugo steps in and pulls Babi away, promising her he'd never cheat. To prove his love, he takes her to a tattoo shop, and she happily gets inked. Later, Hugo is shocked to find Babi's father waiting for him at home. Her father warns him, but Hugo tries to reassure him, claiming that Babi is softening his rough edges. However, things escalate when Hugo's brother criticizes him, and Hugo reacts with aggression. Meanwhile, at school, Babi is in trouble. Her teacher threatens expulsion for forging a leave slip. Her mother intervenes, paying an €8,000 fine not to get expelled. That night, Babi tells Hugo everything. He sneaks into her room and whisks her away to an empty pool where they spend a magical night together. Determined to protect her, Hugo confronts her teacher the next day, warning her not to mess with Babi again. Babi then convinces her father to let her go on a trip, and he agrees, promising to handle her mother. Hugo takes Babi far away to a secluded house. The two share romantic moments in nature until morning. But when Hugo's friends show up uninvited and start partying, Babi is furious and kicks them all out, including Hugo. To win her back, Hugo paints a massive love message on a building and even learns to cook, just for her. Later, Babi tells him her mother's ring is missing. Hugo, enraged, confronts his gang and fights their leader until ring is returned, battered but triumphant. He brings the ring back to Babi. Seeing him injured, her anger melts away, and she tends to his wounds. Court day arrives. Babi is questioned about the party incident. Before heading in, she yells at her mother, making her cry. Hugo promises to chain for her. Soon Babi turns 18. Her mother throws a grand party. But when Babi visits her teacher to deliver a gift, she sees Pepita, the girl Hugo once kidnapped. Shocked, she finally pieces it all together and runs from the scene. She confronts Hugo at his apartment and breaks things off. He's devastated. On her birthday, while Babi gets ready for the party, Hugo stays distant, lost in thought. His best friend Pollo gears up for a race, but Hugo doesn't join. Eventually, Hugo shows up at Babi's party, seemingly changed. They reunite with a kiss, but this joy is short-lived. Tragedy strikes. Pollo crashes during the race and dies. The news breaks Hugo. He weeps uncontrollably. Babi, heartbroken by everything, decides to walk away for good. In a moment of pain, Hugo slaps Babi. He later punishes himself with furious pull-ups, haunted by everything that happened. Meanwhile, Babi begins moving on, spending time with her neighbor and deleting Hugo's number. On Christmas, Katina visits Hugo. She brings a photo of him and Pollo, triggering tears. She tells him that Babi has moved on with someone else. Desperate, Hugo tries calling Babi from a payphone. Her mother answers, but refuses to let him speak to her. He watches helplessly as they drive away, collapsing in tears on the sidewalk. In the final scene, Hugo tells his brother he's leaving for work. He can't stay in this town anymore. As he walks away, he remembers how it all began and realizes something: things only happen once. No matter how hard you try, you never feel the same again. You will never feel 3 meters above the sky. If you like this emotional roller coaster of a movie recap, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more.